guys, so I took a little break with my mental health videos, but today I am back with a brand new mental health series, which I'm really excited about and I've wanted to do for so long. I think I mentioned like at the beginning of the year that I wanted to do this. So today's video is the first part of my Smashing the Stigma series. I asked you guys what you thought the main kind of elements to the stigma of mental health were, so I've kind of put them into different sections to talk about each one individually. Today's video is going to be talking about the difference between mental illness and physical illness, and I thought that this was a really good one to start on because a lot of you, when I asked about the stigmas, gave me the quote, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. With mental health, because it's going on inside someone and we're very good at covering up how we actually feel, I think a lot of people can make judgments and kind of, you know, deem you a fake or say, you know, how can you be depressed? You're smiling. We just don't see mental illness the same as physical illness in society. But I was thinking about this, and actually mental illnesses do have a lot of kind of physical symptoms. I know that when I was really ill, I didn't get out of bed for days, I didn't wash, I would like just stare aimlessly into space. I was just completely, you know, acting out of character, and obviously to my parents that's when they kind of realised, okay, there's something wrong there. And also with eating disorders you get a lot of physical evidence for it, but you know, again, with eating disorders there's the difficulty in that people just judge that on the physical appearance of the person. They don't realise that that is a mental illness, and that weight loss, for example, is only a side effect of that eating disorder. With anxiety, you get the feelings inside you. I get this horrible feeling of dread in my chest. Your breathing gets fast, you get all sweaty. I mean, different people have different symptoms. Panic attacks are another physical display of this mental illness. Someone in their right mind would not choose to behave that way, so I don't know why people still aren't not believing us, but just, you know, seeing it as a serious illness. Those symptoms are serious things, and mental illnesses can be just as life-threatening as physical illnesses. And it's horrible because it's in your own head, like, and it's so hard to explain to other people. There's a big issue if someone sees a person who claims to suffer from a mental illness and they see them laughing and behaving normally. Different people obviously interpret pain in different ways, and some people can cope with it better than others, and it doesn't mean if you can't cope with it that you're, you know, less strong. But in therapy you get told to go out and challenge yourself and, you know, try and live a normal life, whatever that might be. So people are obviously going to try and still go shopping, hang out with their friends, do normal things, go to school, because they have to, otherwise, you know, they're just literally going to be sat in bed forever. And mental illness is like a roller coaster, so people have their bad days and people have their good days, so you might just catch someone on a really good day. The next day, for all you know, they could be in hospital for an overdose. With the process of recovery, especially like with me, even as soon as I got out of hospital, people are like, oh, so you're okay now? Well, no, mental illness is a journey. It can be with you for life. It's something that you're going to constantly have to battle against. And just because you might be smiling one day doesn't mean that you're going to be constantly happy for the rest of your life. Another thing is people not being able to take sick days because they're mentally ill. And I've had this discussion so many times with my friends who have been having a bad day mentally, and they're like, oh, but like, I don't know what to say to my boss. You can't give like depression as an excuse for not going into work. Like, that is seen as ridiculous. But why? Because when you're having a bad day mentally, your normal kind of functioning level is impaired. Like, you're not functioning as highly as you usually would, so you're not going to be able to get your job done well. And yes, sometimes it can be good to push yourself and just go in and take your mind off things, but if you really feel like you can't, then you're allowed to take a day off for yourself. Your health is one of the most important things ever. So I think there should be more understanding in the workplace. I guess kind of just making your manager or someone high up aware of how you feel and how it actually affects your day-to-day life can be important. So then they know that if you say you can't come in, then that's a genuine reason. It is not an excuse. People may see mental illness as an excuse not to do things, saying that you can't make that phone call or go to a certain place with your friends. I know it took me a long time to be able to do things by myself. When someone says they're too anxious to do something, don't hold it against them. I'm just like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Take as much time as you want and we can always reschedule. Mental illness does stop you from doing things, and you know, it's not any less valid an excuse to get out of something than any physical illness. So finally, I want to discuss the kind of treatment and hospital elements of mental illness compared to physical illness, because the treatment route for mental illness is so different to physical illness. It seems no matter kind of what mental illness you're suffering from, the kind of delays and whatnot are all the same. Yet if you have a physical illness, there's so many different routes you can take. So usually with a mental illness, and don't let this discourage you, I'm just talking in a very negative way, but basically you'll go to your GP and they will hopefully refer you to your local mental health services. That can then take months to actually get you onto the mental health services system. And by this time, as it was with me, a lot of people are actually in hospital by this point because they needed the help and they didn't get it because of the waiting list. You get treated differently when you go into A&E. The staff usually have no idea what to do with you. You can get individuals that are going to treat you as if this was your choice, as if you had chosen to put yourself in that position and you had selfishly decided to take your own life. And then obviously they can just discharge you and you can just go and repeat the whole process again, and you're just left in a big mess. And this is something which I really want to help change, and I want to see change. If I have to do it myself and set up my own mental health service or anything to just help you guys, I will try. Trust me, mental illnesses aren't seen as worthy or important as physical illnesses to be treated. And yes, with mental illness, obviously it is different, but there still is that suicidal element. I have been there, I have felt it, and it is a horrible place to be in. But we lose so many people to suicide, and I don't know why it's still not taken seriously. Now that I'm in my kind of right of mind, obviously I would never behave like that. So to me, there definitely had to be something wrong with me to feel like that and to actually act on wanting to end my own life. You are ill, you are not well. And if you are lucky enough, yes, I say lucky enough because it is so hard to get sent there these days, to go to a psychiatric hospital, you then face stigma there as well. I have friends who hate telling people that they were in a mental hospital because of the stigma that surrounds it, and I'm going to do a whole nother video on this, but just to touch on the kind of difference in perception between physical hospitals and mental hospitals. Obviously we have far fewer mental hospitals. People see mental hospitals as these crazy places where the criminally insane are sent. Obviously they are different to physical hospitals because they are treating different things. So you don't have the typical kind of ward bed setup, which is something that I didn't actually realise until I went. If you go to a hospital for physical illness, that's fine. No one would even question it. People will feel sorry for you. People will bring you gifts. I just think the only way we're going to break the stigma is by talking about it and by educating people. And a lot of people luckily don't know what it's like to be mentally ill and how it feels. If you're watching this video and you don't actually suffer from mental illness, thank you, because you've actually taken your time to listen to me ramble. In summary, mental illnesses, although they are different, they still have so many of the same elements to physical illness. Both illnesses have symptoms. They can vary, they can be the same. I'm just gonna leave you with a little analogy and a quote because I want to do like one of my favorite quotes at the end of each episode. To me, when someone says, oh, just cheer up, just be happy, to a person with depression, that is like asking someone with a broken leg to run a marathon. It's just basically impossible. So please think about this. I am so open to talking about this on any form of social media. My Twitter is @TheMaddieBruce and my Instagram is @Maddie_Bruce, and if you want to use the hashtag smashing the stigma, then please do, so we can all kind of get the discussion going. So the quote I'm going to leave you guys with I thought was quite fitting because it is the reason why I got my recent tattoo done, which is this beautiful arrow. An arrow can only be shot by pulling it backwards. So when life is dragging you back with difficult difficulties, it means it's going to launch you into something great. So focus and just keep aiming. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I really hope you guys liked it. I'm going to be doing Mental Health Monday, so I'm going to upload these videos every Monday, and I will see you very soon. Bye!